Oh, verse 4 is Twadanyaf Panibhyam Abhayavarado Daivata Ganaha Tumeka Naivasi Prakatita Vara Bhitya Bhinaya Bhayatratum Datum Phalamapicha Vancha Samadhikam Sharanye Lokanam Tavahi Charanaveva Nipunau. First line is Tvad Anyah. So overall what it means is what is written here. Other than you, all the other gods, they give Vara and Abhaya. They give Vara and Abhaya with their hands. You alone do not do with your hands, but your feet are good enough to provide Vara and Abhaya. That is what it means. So we look at the first line. It says, Tvat Anyaf Panibhyam, besides you. Tvat Anyam Panibhyam Abhaya Varada Daivata Ganaha. All the other devatas, all the other deities give Varada and Abhaya. Varada means bestowing boons. Abhaya is bestowing fearlessness. Bhayatratum, which means to remove fear. So if you see, usually all the other deities are generally, even in Tirupati, you see, right? Bhagavan Balaji Perumal is standing one hand like this and the other hand like this. And most of the other deities you see, usually most of the deities that are with, if they have 4 hands, if they have more than 2 hands, usually the frontal 2 hands have Abhaya and Varada. So one is to give Abhaya, that I will protect you. The second is Varada, means I will give you the boons that you seek of me. This is usually the way all gods and deities give Abhaya Varada, with their hands. That is the first line. Besides you, O mother. Tvat Anyaha. Besides you, everybody does it like this. So what about you? Tvam Eka. You alone. Na eva asi. Na eva asi means not, you are not this way. You don't do what, you don't display it this way. Prakatita, you don't display Vara Abhiti, Abhinaya. Varada and Abhayam, Vara Abhiti, Abhinaya. Through the gesture, you are the only one who does not do it this way. You don't display Vara and Abhaya through a gesture. And then third one is Bhayat Tratum Datum Phalamapicha Vancha Samadhikam. But even then, you remove fear. Bhayat Tratum Trayate, to rescue. You rescue or you protect from Bhaya, and you also give the desired result or the fruits of your desires. Phalam api vancha. Vancha is desire, and phalam is the fruit of your desire. You give it sama adhikam. You give it much more in excess than the other gods give. And how do you do that? Sharanye lokanam tavahi charanau eva nipunau. Which means, how do you do that? You do that just with your feet. Which means at your feet, all the worlds, all the lokas, when they fall at your feet, they instantly receive Vara and Abhaya. This is what is this particular verse about. Now, if you connect it to the previous verse, where Adi Shankara spoke about Taniyamsum Pamsum Tava Charana Panke Ruha Bhavam. If you remember, verse 2 was Taniyamsum Pamsum Tava Charana Panke Ruha Bhavam Virinchi Sanchinman Virachayati Lokana Vikalam. Bhatyenam Shaurihi Kathamapi Sahasrena Shirasam Haras Sankshudyenam Bhajati Bhasito Thulana Vidayim. There he showed the power of the feet in the whole cosmic process of creation, sustenance, and destruction. Your feet, the dust of your feet, that in itself is so powerful that you can do this whole process of creation, sustenance, and destruction. Then he comes here and he says, there is more glory to your feet. It's not just that. The greater glory is that with your feet, you also offer Abhaya and Varada. So this is very interesting, right? Most of the Rajarajeshwari idols that we see, even in Lalita Sahasranamam, if you see, the way she is represented in Lalita Sahasranamam is how Krodhakarankushojvala Manorupekshupodanda Panchatanmatra Sayaka. How does it start?
Ijaruna Prabha Pura Majid
Brahmanda Mandala.
Champakashu Saugandhikala Satkacha Guruvinda Manishreni
Kanatkoti
Koti Ramandita Ashtami Chandra Vibra Dalikasara Shobita Brigachandra.
Adukku munnadi, prior to Krodha Akara, on the left side, so one on the right side is Krodha Akara Ankusha Ujjvala. What is on the left side? She's got the new Pasha. What is that? What is that verse? Pasha Ankusha Manor no. Raga Swarupa Pashadhya. So it is Raga Swarupa Pashadhya, Krodha Ankara Ankushojvala, Manorupekshu Kodanda, Panchatanmatra Sayaka. So she's got the 5 flowery arrows on the right side in the front. She's got the Manorupekshu Kodanda on the left side in the front. She's got the Krodha Akara Ankushojvala, which is the Ankusha on the right side in the back. And she's got the Pashadhya. Raga Swarupa Pashadhya on the left side of the back. So 4 arms. She's got weapons on all the 4 arms. Right? So there is no way for her to give Vara Abhaya. There are no more hands. Correct? There are no more hands to give Vara Abhaya. So idu oru kindala in a way, in a funny way, Adi Shankara is saying, people may ask this question. You Raga Swarupa Pashadhya, you clear of Raga Swarupa, then Raga Swarupa, Raga Dvesha, you clear off, then you have Krodhankara Kushojvala, so you remove all the Kama Krodha Lobha Moha Mada Matsaryam, then your Manorupekshu Kodanda, so with the Kodanda in your hand, you control the mind, then Pancha Tanmatra Sayaka, you control all the senses and the Tanmatras with the right side. So these 4 arms are busy doing stuff. How do you give Abhaya and Varada to your devotees? And that he says that she does it through her feet. So all you have to do, basically the beautiful first few shlokas, verses, is saying all you have to do is Sharanye Lokanam. At your feet, all the worlds receive Abhaya Varada. So, which means Abhaya is what? I will protect you, and Varada is I will give you what you desire. Okay. And it's also interesting to note that she can also protect you from your desires. Because a lot of times our problems are also because of the desires. We fall into problems, we go into a lot of fear arises because our desires don't get fulfilled. Correct? A lot of times our desires don't get fulfilled, hence our fear arises. So that's the beauty with mother or any form of the divine. When we go in the prapatti bhava, sharanagati bhava, when we go in that bhava, it is true they will give you everything, but they will give you that which is in the best interest for you. They will give you what is in your best interest. So which means they will give you vancha samadhikam, which means she will give you in excess of your desires, what you have asked for. But at the same time, If that desire is not suitable for you, you're going to harm yourself, she will not give it to you. And we may feel that I haven't received something. It's just that two things. Either it's not the right time for you to receive it, you'll receive it at a different time, or you may not receive it because it's harmful. It eventually will be harmful. Now, what is the beautiful thing here is we've got a long life, right? Long life as in we have enough time to go through this process of understanding and realization. Right? So, I mean, imagine the number of events, the number of incidents, the number of transactions that happen in a single day, and just multiply that by the number of days and the number of weeks and months and years that we are. How many opportunities we get to observe this? That I asked this, I got it, but I got it in a different way, or I didn't get it, or I got it more than what I had asked for. It's all because, see, the important thing is asking and getting is a transaction, and it works. It works. In fact, if you take Bala Tripura Sundari, it will work even more beautifully. Whatever you ask, she will also give you fairly quickly, because she is like a small child, a small baby, a Bala. She will give you. But it's like you go and ask the child for a knife, it will go pick it up and bring the knife. But the knife can be harmful, right? If you don't know how to handle it. It will joyfully go and come and give it to you. So one thing is we've got to be a little careful in what we ask also, right? We shouldn't be too, I wouldn't want to use the word greedy, too ambitious in asking. This whole asking and getting transaction, we have to slowly dissolve. Because although all these shlokas say she will give you an excess, it means when you tell mother that you know what I need, but yet I'm asking. See, we are not saying that, oh, mother, you know whatever I need, so I'm not going to ask, right? But inside somewhere you want to ask. So you are in a conflict. You want to ask inside, but just you're sugarcoating yourself, or you're telling, no, I am a Devi Bhakta, I am a Shri Vidya Upasaka, so I won't ask anything. Mother knows everything. But inside your heart, somewhere you want to ask, mother, can you fix this for me? Can you do that for me? I'm struggling here. Can you help here? You want to ask. Be honest to yourself. Ask. Problem is not with asking. Ask and deliver it there. That's all. Put it into a box and let her work on it. Let her work on it the way she wants to work on it, because she will deliver the results in an appropriate time, because the last thing she wants is you to fall into harm's way, right? She wants you to move through this journey of spiritual realization as quickly as possible. Imagine, what does she want? If you are able to think about mother all the time, that's the best thing that we can offer her. And that is what she would want. So she will make everything possible so that happens. It's a very beautiful story about Krishna and Arjuna walking. One evening, they're just walking by, and not one evening, probably one of the mornings. So Arjuna was asking Krishna, what is grace and how do you give grace? How does one receive grace and how do you offer grace? So he gives this, he takes him he tells you, come, I will give you a demonstration. So he takes him out for a walk, and they go as Brahmins. And they walk into a household where there is this wealthy man, and they stand outside the house and they say, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, please give me something, give us some food. We are hungry Brahmins. And they're standing outside, and this guy comes from the outside. One of the, probably there are a few ladies in the household. It's a wealthy man's household. Somebody comes out to give food. And then the owner of the house, the wealthy guy, he comes out shouting because there's some fight or some conflict that's happening in the family. He comes out And he shouts at these two people saying, don't you have any other thing, you beggars, coming in the morning and disturbing my activities of the day? Don't you have anything better to do? All of those things. He says nasty things and drives them away. Krishna moves away, and then while moving away, Krishna blesses him, saying, may you obtain more wealth. And then walks away. And then they go further down and they reach into a small hutment where there is this one guy, and he's got a very ill cow. And he usually takes some milk from the cow and then gets some food from here and there, and somehow eats probably a meal a day. These two people go there and they stand in front of him and they say, Bhavati Bhikshandi. Immediately the man says, come. I was just about to eat this little milk porridge that I just made. Why don't you can take a share of this. He takes a share, and then he tells, this is my situation. I want to do dhyana. I want to do Bhagavad Chintanam. I want to do satsangam. But I've got this, I have to take care of the cow. I have to take care of the hut and all of that. I have to make sure this is there and all. Gently, he is talking to these two people while he has given his part of the porridge to him. They eat, and then they walk away thanking him. And then while going away, Krishna blesses him, saying that, may the cow die. And then Arjuna is a little confused, saying that man behaved ill with you or behaved nastily with you, and you blessed him with wealth. And this guy, you've told him the cow dies. So simple, we understand what's happening here. There, in the first case, Krishna is blessing him with wealth so that he gets more entangled, more conflict, more exasperation, frustration, and all of that. So it's not really a blessing, right? Wealth all the time is not necessarily a blessing. We've seen that in our lives. There's a lot more wealth that comes. Along with it, suddenly, if you become very, very wealthy amongst our relatives and family people, we fear how to show, which we are also worried how not to show them that I'm wealthy, how not to show that I'm very well-to-do, right? We are very careful because we worry. And then we also worry, where do I put the money? Where do I invest? Where do I do all of that? How do I grow this? How do I not lose more money? And then we run around different people, financial advisors. We ask them, money, what do I do? So all of that, it brings in a lot of other stresses and other problems and other tensions. Now, this guy, on the other hand, the only attachment that he has is now released. And then he is now able to move about freely. And he is able to spend more time in satsang and all of that. There's an equivalent story in Bhagavatam, in the starting, Srimad Bhagavatam, where Narada recounts one of his older previous births. And he says where he was a son of a maid helper servant. And then similarly, his only attachment was his mother. And then he got so interested with satsanga. When he was working places, wherever his mother was working, he would go, and then there would be a lot of sages, saints, and sadhus and sannyasis who will come around. And he was very interested in satsanga, bhajans, nama sankirtanam. And he was wanting to go with them. But he was not able to because his lone attachment, the mother was there, and he was not able to go. And there was a time when he had a vision of Lord Narayana, and his mother, after that, the mother passed away. The first thought that came to him, Appadi, thank you, Lord. Right? So he said, thank you, Lord. Now that I can spend all my days and nights thinking about you, not having to worry about anything. Now, those are just examples to show when divinity offers this varada, which is the desire, fulfillment of a desire. It doesn't have to necessarily be the way that I have desired it to be fulfilled. In fact, many a times I've realized, and I've told this to 4 people also, that either your desires may get fulfilled, or your desires may vanish. Which is better? Think about it. It's probably better that your desires vanish, right? Because if you're fulfilling your desire, imagine more probable situation is that you're creating more desires from there. You're creating offshoots, and you're probably creating some karma and karma phala thereafter. Because when your desire is fulfilled, there is some action that's coming into play, some engagement, some transaction coming into play. And you're probably generating, and then when that desire is kind of fulfilled, you're generating another desire, or maybe multiple other desires. Isn't it best if the desire itself vanishes? We've experienced this in our lifetimes, right? Even as a small boy, as a small child, we grow up to a young adult, we grow up to a full-grown adult, and we grow into old age. We see how our desires that meant a lot when I was a small child is no longer relevant when I'm growing up. So it's possible. So when we pray to Mother, it's okay if she dissolves my desires. It's probably the best. Right? There is no lingering effect of that vasana that remains of that. If she dissolves it, the best. So how does she do it? She does it from her feet. By her feet, what we mean is when we surrender. Surrender doesn't necessarily mean we have to keep falling down at the altar every day. Doesn't mean necessarily that. In our mind, we surrender. With our actions, we surrender. With our thoughts, we surrender. We surrender. We offer it. We offer it and then do anything. We first offer food, how we offer food. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhinaha. Brahman is everywhere. It is Brahman. That is in everything. I offer this Brahman, which is this Brahman, I offer it into the fire of Brahman. So I offer and then I do whatever I need to do. Right? Then what is Abhaya? Then there is no fear. By clearing off your hankering on desires, fear also slowly will vanish. Because a lot of times fear is because of me not knowing how to deal with my desires. A lot of time my desires become the cause of my fear. How? I have a desire, I want to achieve it, but then fear sets in. Will I not be able to achieve it? Will I not be able to achieve it? Will something else come in its way for me to achieve it? And that is true in relationships or in possessions that we have. Correct? Fear actually comes from only those sources. Fear comes from attachment to an object. When there is attachment to an object, I am not able to let go. And remember, object means it could be your emotion. Oh, Zoom is doing a funny thing. I did a thumbs up. It's showing me a thumbs up there. Okay. So it could be my emotions. I'm not able to let go. My thoughts, I'm not able to let go. And everything that follows, my relationships, the people around me, the objects that I have, the position that I hold, the name that I carry, the image that I hold, all of this, if I'm not able to let go, then fear will be a natural outcome. So fearlessness is essentially coming from the fact that I don't hanker onto desires. I don't hold on to things. So what is Mother giving me? Bhayat tratum datum phalam apicha vancha samadhikam sharanye lokana tavahi charano charanaveva nipunao. Your feet are skilled enough. Nipunao means skilled. Your feet are skilled enough to give me Varada, Abhaya, which all the other gods do it with their hands. Your feet is good enough to do that. You don't have to raise your hands. You can use your hands for other things. Raga Swarupa Pashadhya, Krodhakara Ankushochula, Manorupekshu Godanda, Panchatanmatra Sayaka. You have, your hands are busy. Your feet can give me this. Okay. So that is the fourth shloka. Mama, cholunga. Saying something?
The Abhayam சொல்றீங்க இல்லையா? Is that one of the causes for anger also? Fear. Does it generate anger also?
Correct.
And is sometimes due to that fear also, the inherent fear or the invisible fear?
Yes. There are two ways we respond to fear. Either we withdraw into solitude, we withdraw because of fear, or we display anger in a way to keep things away. Because you want to push it away, because you're afraid, you can't deal with it. By anger, you try to push it away. You're not wanting to face it. When we don't want to face it, we try to either keep it away or we withdraw ourselves. So anger is the response to fear. See, a lot of times you will notice when you are the most tired, that is when you shout the most. Idu note pannirukoma namba. When we're really exhausted, when somebody comes and bothers you, that is when you shout the most. And but you're saying, I am very tired. How can you shout the most? So what happens is there is this energy that you gather because of fatigue, because you don't want anything to bother you. You're using a repellent mechanism. So fear, anger actually is a repellent mechanism to push things away because you're not able to deal with your condition. And that condition could be fear, could be a suppression of emotions, could be dejection, depression, whatever. But that comes out as an expression.
I observed it could be an animal instinct. Like when they are fear, when the animals fear, they become more aggressive. They show the anger or they try to
So
be
they
aggressive.
say, correct, absolutely. They call it as fight or flight. The tendency is called fight or flight tendency, which means you either fight or you run away, flight. So flight is essentially you withdraw. You withdraw. Fight means you become aggressive. You display anger. Okay? Anger. Absolutely right. So fear does that to us. That is a response of fear. Wonderful. Okay, so now we'll go to the second shloka. This is the fifth one, sorry. Let me just pause the recording for a moment.
हरिस्त्वाम् आराध्य प्रणतजनसौभाग्यजननी पुरानारी भूत्वा पुररिपुमपि क्षोभानयत् स्मरोऽपि त्वां नत्वा रतिनयनलेहेन वपुषा मुनीनामप्यन्तः प्रभवति मोहाय महताम्.
Thank you. Haristvam Aradhya Pranata Jana Saubhagya Jananim. So here, again, it's a very poetic representation that Bhagavan Adi Shankara has brought in. He's trying to say how each of these people have got their powers. So he's saying Hari, who has worshipped you, he took the form of Mohini. Vishnu took the form of Mohini. That was by your power, the grace of Shakti. He got the ability to take the form of Mohini, and he was able to even fascinate who? Shiva, Lord Shiva. Even Lord Shiva was fascinated by your grace, right? By your because of your grace, Vishnu took the form of Mohini, and he also fascinated or attracted Lord Shiva. And What about Smaropi Tvam Natva? Smara is Kamadeva. Kamadeva appears attractive to Rati, his wife. Lekhyena Vapusha. For Rati's eyes, Kamadeva looks so beautiful and charming. And the same Kamadeva is able to arouse passion in sages like Vishwamitra. He is able to arouse love and passion. Even in he was trying to do with even Shiva. He is able to do that. The audacity of being able to do that comes because of your power. Because of Shakti. That is what he's saying. Harihi Tvam Aradhya, having worshipped you, Hari, Pranata Jana Saubhagya Jananim, he is able to and having worshipped you, Hari, also people who bow down to you, O Creatrix, O Mother, they are filled with Saubhagya. And the same Hari, Puranari Bhutva, having become a woman at an older time, he evoked attraction in the minds of even an Asura like Pura. So Pura Ripum Api. So Pura, the word has multiple meanings. One is there is an Asura by that name. And it also means, Pura also means city. Pura also indicates your body. Tripura is the word, Tripura. Tripura Sundari, the Devi of the three worlds. The three Puras also indicated as waking, dreaming, deep sleep states. These are also called as Puras. Three cities or three places where you reside. You reside in the waking state, you reside in the dream state, you reside in the deep sleep state. So these are states of consciousness, is also referred to as Pura. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, the lokas, they're also called as Puras. So Pura indicates all of this, city, which means if it's like the body, it is able to generate that passion or desire or attraction in the body within us. Okay? So Vishnu, having taken the form of Mohini, is able to evoke, and in Shiva Purana, Shiva is known to have killed an Asura by the name Pura. So Pura Ripu also indicates Shiva, because he is known to have killed an Asura Pura, and having killed, and that Shiva, in his heart also there is agitation by looking at you. The Ayyappa, the form of Ayyappa is Sadashiva or Shiva and Mohini coming together. Okay? Shiva and Mohini coming together, the offspring is Lord Ayyappa. Hari Hara Sutan. Adanalda avarku Hari Hara Sutan appdinu solluvom. Because Hari and Hara, Vishnu and Shiva came together to become Ayyappa. The offspring was Ayyappa. So how is that possible? Because Hari in the form of Vishnu attract or created this desire in Shiva. Then he's talking about Smaraha Apis. Smara is Manmatha, having worshipped you. So in the first one, Hari Tvam Aradhya. Hari, having worshipped you, gets this power where he can even entice Shiva. In the same way, Smara, having worshipped you, Smara Api, Smaropi, Tvam Natva, having worshipped you. Natvana, Naman, to do Namaste is Natva, having worshipped, having done, having prostrated to you. He, in the way he's used the words is very interesting. It's very graphical. Rati Nayana Lekhyena Vapusha. Rati is so attracted to you by her own eyes. She is licking your body. Rati Nayana Lekhyena Vapusha. Vapusha is your body. She's by Nakkardana. something that you're so tasteful, you lick. You lick something that's very tasteful, right? You eat a mambaram and you just lick your hands because it's so tasty. So by the eyes, she's licking your body because you're so attractive. How does Smara, Manmatha gets this power? Because of Adi Parashakti, Devi. And then what is the power that he has? Smara or Manmatha has? He has the power to Muninam api antaha prabhavatihi mohaya mahatam. He is able to create delusion in the minds of great sages. Great sages who do tapas for many, many years and many millennia and even lifetimes, even in their hearts, he is able to create that fire of passion, that desire. How? Because of your grace, because he worshipped you. Both Vishnu and Kamadeva are known to be Sri Vidya Upasakas. They worship the Sri Vidya form of Devi. In fact, in those who are familiar with this this is shloka where all the names of the Devis in the various chakras of the Sri Vidya, Meru or the Sri Chakra, there are Devis at various points. All the names of those Devis are mentioned in that shloka. And in that, towards the end, there are 12 gurus that are mentioned. Gurus of Sri Vidya. How does it go? Mahesha, Madhava, Vidhatru, Manmada, Skanda, Nandi, Indra, Chandra, Manus, Chandra, Kuvera, Agastya, Krodha, Bhattaraka. Mahesha, Madhava, Vishnu. Mahesha, Madhava, Vidhatru, Manmatha, Skanda, Nandi, Indra, Manu, Chandra, Kubera, Agastya, Krodha, Bhattaraka. There are 12 gurus of Sri Vidya. Shiva, thanks, ma. So that shloka is called Khadgamala. Khadgamala. There is one other name which I was familiar with, Sahasrakshara Vidya. This is the more popular name, Khadgamala Stotram. In the Khadgamala Stotram, towards the end, these references are made of these gurus. So in this, Vishnu is there as Madhava and Manmatha is there. So these are all gurus. Mahesha Madhava, Vidhatru, Manmatha, Skanda, Nandi, Indra, Manu, Chandra, Kubera, Agastya, Krodha, Bhattaraka. Krodha Bhattaraka is Durvasa. Krodha Bhattaraka, Vidyatmike, Kalyana, Tattvatraya Rupe, Shiva Shivatmike, Purna Brahma Shakte, Mahatripura Sundari, Tavashri Padukam, Pujayami, Tarpayami, Namaha. So that Mahatripura Sundari, to whom all of these great Sri Vidya Upasakas are prostrating, I also prostrate. Pujayami, Tarpayami, Namaha. So in that tradition, there are two of these names indicated here. So Harihi, he is a worshipper of Devi, of Sri Vidya. Smara or Manmatha is a worshipper. Now, what is also indicated here is he talks about how desire, in both of these cases, it's about desire. How desire is evoked through Devi, through the worship of Devi, in that person, or not in that person, in people around him. And this is something that in another shloka also, another verse, Adi Shankara mentions, how Sri Vidya Upasaka becomes so attractive that women let their hairs loose. They don't care about what they are wearing. They just run behind this person, even if he is an old person. But if he's a Devi Upasaka, they get attracted to him. He says that, which means Devi has that Vashamana Shakti. That Shakti of attraction is there. And this, because when somebody worships, in fact, that particular verse, when we go later, we will see, he says, Katak, with the side glance, O mother, This man who is ugly looking and an old person, he gets the power to attract women to follow him. Krishna was like that. Women will just follow him, whether you're married, you're unmarried, you're young, you're old, whatever, they'll just run behind him, right? That is the Rasa Leela. We know stories of Rasa Leela, the Gopikas. Because that is the power of Devi's, Vashankari Shakti. That Shakti gives this individual that ability to attract. Now, what you're trying to do is, that's not the intention to arouse desire in somebody. That's not the intention. It is a side effect. It is an effect that occurs when you are so devoted to Divine Mother. Or when you do enough sadhana, there is a certain tejas that comes. When you see there is a certain tejas by sadhana, by japa, tapa you do, when you see that individual, there is a certain tejas they carry. This tejas is a form of Shakti. Tejas is Shakti. And when you are propitiating Shakti, this is even furthermore glorified. This aura. You would have experienced this. Some people, just by in their presence, we'll know that the amount of sadhana they have done, we can experience. The amount of what do you say? Tapas they would have done, we'll be able to experience it. The tapas agni, the agni that is generated from tapas or sadhana or dhyana or japa, all of these are exothermic actions. Okay, those who understand the scientific term, exothermic. Exothermic means it releases heat in a certain form. Tapas, japa, sadhana, dhyana, all of this. Okay, all of these you try and do, you will see that there is a certain, your temperature of the body will go up a little. The inner organs will become a little more active and a little more energetic. You do take any japa you do for, like, you take any Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and you do sit and do it. You will see after some time there is a certain tapas energy that will build. Dhyana, you do pranayama, you will see a certain tapas energy that will build. All of these energies are Shakti. And this Shakti, when it starts spilling out as part of our sadhana, when it starts spilling out, it appears, that tapas energy is, it encompasses you like an aura. And it is saubhagya. See, the important thing between bhagya and saubhagya. What is the difference between bhagya and saubhagya? Bhagya is fortune. Saubhagya is fortune with blessing of the divine. Which means saubhagya is when it's okay, the difference between saying you're fortunate and you're blessed. Just a small difference, right? So you're fortunate means it seems like things are happening for you, you're getting what you want and things are just working, getting into the right place. But when you're blessed, it's not necessary that all that you want may happen, things may fall in the right place, no. But there is a sense that you feel that, there is divinity with me all the time. There is someone that's taking care of me all the time. From somewhere, you may not get the best, you may not get the, how do you say? You may not get the right solution that you think is the right solution, but you may get the best solution. I don't know how to explain this. This is an experience that you gain, right? A lot of times we feel blessed. Just by being able to do certain things, we feel blessed. It may not be something very great. Just to be able to be in the presence of somebody, do something, or do satsang, for instance. Do satsang, go to a temple, think of the Lord, do dhyana, japa, even to be able to do sadhana. If you're able to do that is blessedness, right? Srividyaji is asking, is it same as need and want? It's slightly different, Srividyaji. What I'm trying to say here is it's not between need and want. Need is there are things that you need to exist. There are needs to continue to exist to survival. For survival, there are needs. There are emotional needs, physical needs, even spiritual needs to grow. Want is something that you're desiring for, right? So that is one thing. But here what we're saying is the difference between being fortunate and being blessed. That is the difference between bhagya and saubhagya. So which is why we always ask divine to give not just bhagya, give me saubhagyam. Don't just give me bhagyam. Bhagyam is you get things. I mean, if you get the right things, you get. If you got to get money now, you'll get money. You got to have children, you get children. You got to get a house, you get house. Whatever. But blessedness, the feeling of blessedness is a different thing. Feeling of blessedness is when understanding dawns within. When you're able to see things beautifully. When you see that when things are happening for me in the way that I grow better, things are happening so that I realize myself, I realize the truth, I realize divinity. When things are happening in a way that they come together, it may be good things, bad things, doesn't matter. See, a lot of times, we go through a struggle, we come out and we say we're blessed. We still say that we are blessed, even after going through a struggle. Why? Going through a struggle is inevitable. But the feeling that someone is there to protect me, guide me, be with me, this feeling that we carry, that comes with sadhana, with dhyana, japa, stotra, satsang, nama sankirtanam. That divinity or that presence or that principle is with me all the time. This is saubhagya. So what is happening here is you generate this energy around you. When you do all of this aura that you generate is a saubhagya energy. Right? When people are attracted by this, they're essentially attracted by, they feel that there's something about this individual that seems he's got grace. We see people and we feel that, right? He seems to have grace. He seems to be blessed. That is what we get. That is the way we have to read this and understand. We are not talking about agitating or triggering some carnal desires in people, right? We are not trying to propitiate Devi so that I get attracted to women and then I get the most beautiful woman in the world as my wife. That's not the idea. The idea is that I generate the saubhagya within me, the feeling of blessedness within me, so that it spills onto the other. And when they see, they feel this presence of grace. My guru said one very beautiful thing. He said, I will never go and tell. My guru told me, he tells about his guru. He tells about his guru that the day when somebody asks you, who is your guru? Okay. So my guru first asked his guru, what is my guru dakshina? How do I give you guru dakshina? Okay. Then his guru tells him that you go into the world, you do what needs to be done. The day when somebody asks you, I see something in this person, who is your guru? And somebody asks you that, remember that day you've paid my guru dakshina. Right? Which means by our presence, by our being, we activate people in the right direction. That is the idea of satsanga. We generate this interest and thing in people that they also start thinking about, if they're materially minded, they will start slowly moving in this direction. That is the presence that we will generate. And what Adi Shankara is saying is that is what it generates. When you are propitiating Divine Mother, you will have a certain aura that people around you will think, hey, enna irukku vankata? What is it that is there? I also want that. How do I get it? right? That is the point of attraction that you're talking about. That is the attraction. And that we are not working towards getting that, I want people around me to get attracted. No, we are not working towards that. But we're saying this is a test or a measure of, are we in the right direction? Are we going in there? Are we creating the right ambience around us? Right? We may have very, very different environments, but am I creating my environment, my cocoon, my Shri Chakra, my own Shri Chakra, am I creating around me? That is important. And then it will spread whichever way needs to spread. Right? So it says, Haristvam Aradhya Pranata Jana Saubhagya Jananim Puranari Bhutva Puraripumapi Shobhamanayat Smaropi Tvam Natva Ratinayana Lekhyena Vapusha Muninam Apyantaha Prabhavatihi Mohaya Muktam. We'll pause here. Om Ayena Vacha Manasendriyeva Buddhyatmana Va Pratyaya Svabhava Karumi Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayati Samarpayami Sadashivayati Samarpayami Jagadambikayati Samarpayami Sadgurunathayati Hari Om Tat Sat Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Happy Adi Vellikramai.